Hi guys, this is a presentation called Microsoft PowerPoint 101. So what is Microsoft PowerPoint? Microsoft PowerPoint is a program designed to make digital presentations. But what's the history of Microsoft PowerPoint? Well, here is a video explaining that.
The two most famous rivals in the computing industry are Apple and Microsoft. Ironically, when Microsoft PowerPoint first came out, it was released on Macintosh only. One insider said that people would go out and buy a Macintosh just to get access to the software. Today, Microsoft PowerPoint is the #1 presentation software in the world, with an astounding 95% market share. But that wasn't always the case. In 1987, after a couple years of ideation, Silicon Valley startup Forethought Inc. created a presentation software for the relatively new graphical personal computers. The name for the software was the easy-to-remember Presenter, but they had to change it last minute because it had already been trademarked by somebody else. Instead, they went with PowerPoint, empowering everyday people to make a point on their PC. They sold 10,000 units, and 3 months later, it was sold to Microsoft. This was Microsoft's first major acquisition, but it wasn't an easy decision. In fact, Bill Gates himself was against it. Microsoft wanted some form of presentation software, but Gates had envisioned the ability to create presentations as a feature of Microsoft Word, not its own program. Fortunately for Microsoft, their head of marketing for the applications division disagreed, and Bill Gates finally changed his mind. PowerPoint was acquired for a cost of $14 million, which is around $32.5 million today. There were two problems Microsoft faced with PowerPoint. The first was that they had very low market share, and the second was that they had insufficient distribution. So, what changed? The first problem was solved with the incorporation of PowerPoint into Windows. They obviously owned both of them. The distribution improved when Microsoft marketed and sold Word, PowerPoint, and Excel together as a package, Microsoft Office. PowerPoint has a 95% share in its market, drowning out the free Google Sheets and the free on Mac Keynote. While both are free, PowerPoint keeps a tight grip on the market because of its use in industry, even though you have to pay for it. Its competitive advantage is that Microsoft Office captured the corporate world and never let go. But the big question is, whether you use PowerPoint, Google Sheets.
Well, there you go. That's a brief explanation of kind of how Microsoft PowerPoint came to be Microsoft PowerPoint. I always find it's very interesting that a lot of corporations that own programs typically didn't create them. They rather bought them and made them more popular, made them easier to use, so they're more successful. Very interesting. Okay, here are some Microsoft PowerPoint features. So there's PowerPoint design ideas, which automatically and instantly provide you with several design options for a particular slide based on the content that is presented on the slide. It's found in the Design tab. Animations. Here is a brief video explaining how to add animations to slides in PowerPoint.
Add animations to text, pictures, shapes, and more in your PowerPoint presentation. Select the object or text you want to animate. Select Animations and choose an animation. Then select Effect options and choose an effect. There are different ways to start an animation. On-click starts an animation when you click a slide. With previous starts it at the same time as the previous animation in your sequence, and after previous plays it immediately after the previous animation happens. Use duration to lengthen or shorten an effect, or add a delay to add time before an effect runs. And to add more effects to an object that already has one, select Add Animation and choose one. Select an animation marker to change the order it appears on the slide. Choose Move Earlier, so it comes earlier in the sequence, or Move Later to have it occur later. If you'd like to add an animation to a group of objects, press Ctrl and select them, then select Format, Group, Group to group them together. Then select Animations and choose one.
All right, that's a brief explanation from Microsoft itself about how to use PowerPoint animations. Okay, back corner. All right, PowerPoint notes for presentation. This can be very helpful because you might not want to have every single thing that you want to say or remember on a slide because it might be too busy. So to have notes is a great option.
Hey there, it's Brita with Simple Slides. Thank you so much for checking out our channel. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you get notifications. Getting the right information balance on a presentation can be tricky. You're constantly getting told that the perfect presentation has minimal information on the screen, but also shows off your knowledge and expertise in the subject matter. That's where notes in PowerPoint become so valuable. This video will cover how to add speaker notes to your PowerPoint so you can make sure your presentation is visually clear and appealing while you provide all the information necessary. To create the best PowerPoint slides to add notes to, you can check out the PowerPoint templates we provide. So why use notes in PowerPoint? Speaker notes in PowerPoint allow presenters to implement key points like key stats or messages they want to portray during their presentation without adding them directly to the slide. Follow these steps to do just that. First, make sure that your slideshow is in normal view. If your slideshow is in presenter view, you won't be able to access the notes pane and make any changes. Once you are in normal view, use the View tab to find the slide you would like to add notes to. Each slide has its own notes pane, so be sure to insert notes to each section on every slide. Once you are on the right PowerPoint screen, select Notes and add your additional information. This section is below each slide. Now you can add in information that you want to share, but didn't want to include visually. PowerPoint automatically only shows notes to the speaker when a presentation connects to a separate output, such as a projector, monitor, or another device. To check this, click the Slideshow tab, select Presenter View, and you will see the speaker notes only appear on your PowerPoint window. While your audience watches your presentation in Presenter View, you can continue to refer back to the Notes pane to view your speaker notes. Your PowerPoint will appear on the screen, giving your audience helpful visuals that are easy to digest, while you recite from your notes, giving them more context to each slide and impressing them with your knowledge. Now you have all the information you need to add speaker notes in PowerPoint. As you are now aware, there are many benefits to adding notes in PowerPoint. Even if you write the most complex and detailed notes, a vertical scroll bar appears, so you will never run out of space. In your next presentation, test out your new note skills to take your presentation to the next level.
So that is a quick tutorial on how to use notes in presentations and how it can be helpful. Another feature is you can add charts to PowerPoint. You can create charts in PowerPoint or link charts to an external data source. Notably, you can link to Excel sheets and you can select your chart to be updated automatically in PowerPoint when the data gets edited in Excel. All you have to do is link a chart to an external data set. This can be done from within PowerPoint. Microsoft PowerPoint shortcuts. Shortcuts are great because sometimes we just need to do a few clicks and we don't have a bunch of time, might be last minute edits, and it's just easier to just use some keys instead of finding each individual function. So for reference, the stuff in blue is the actual shortcut that you are typing in. So for, this is for formatting. So this is about like your text. So to make a text bold, you hit Control and B, or you can find it in the Home tab front group. To make it italic, you can hit Control plus Control plus I, or it's also in the Home tab front group. Underline, you can hit Control plus U, which is in the Home tab front group. To center your text, you can hit Control plus E, which is in the Home tab paragraph group. To align the text to the left, you can hit Control plus L, which is in the Home tab paragraph group. To right align your text, you can hit Control plus R, which is in the Home tab paragraph group. To justify your text, you can hit Control plus J, which is in the Home tab paragraph group. And to make your text normal, you can hit Control plus spacebar, which is also in the Home tab paragraph group. Some editing shortcuts for Microsoft PowerPoint are: to undo something, you can hit Control plus Z, but it's also in the quick access toolbar. To cut a text, which is like copy, but you delete it, but you save it into your clipboard. So you can paste it somewhere else, which is great for when you realize there's too much text on a slide and it would be easier to go on to the next slide, but you don't want to retype everything. You can hit Control plus X, and then it's also Home tab clipboard group. To copy, you hit Control plus C, which is also in the Home tab clipboard group. And paste is Control plus V, which is in the Home tab clipboard group. Next, there is Select All, which is Control plus A, which is in the Home tab editing group. To find something, Control plus F is the Home tab editing group. And to replace is the Control plus H, which is Home tab editing group. Next are Microsoft PowerPoint file and document shortcuts. This just makes it easier to add new files, add documents, new slides, and print, and find help. So for a new command, hit Control plus N, which is in the File tab, a new command. Open is Control plus O, which is in the File tab, open command. To save command, Control plus S, which is in the File tab, save command. To print is Control plus P, which is File tab, print command. Help is F1, which is help button at upper right of ribbon. And new slide is Control plus M, which can be found in the Home tab, new slide command. Some slideshow shortcuts for, try saying that fast, slideshow shortcuts from Microsoft PowerPoint. To start a slideshow, hit F5. To advance to the next slide, hit N. To perform the next animation, hit Enter, then page down, then right arrow, then down arrow, or spacebar. To go back to the previous slide, hit P. To repeat the previous animation, page up, left arrow, up arrow, or backspace. To go to a specific slide, type in the slide number and then press Enter. Some other Microsoft PowerPoint slideshow shortcuts are To display a black screen, hit B. To display a white screen, hit W. To end a slideshow, hit the escape button. To go to the next hidden slide, hit H. To display a pen cursor, hit Control and P. To display an arrow cursor, hit Control plus A. To hide the cursor, hit Control plus H. And with that, you have the gist of PowerPoint. So PowerPoint is very awesome. It's very powerful. If you are, work at a company or a school that uses explicitly Office products, Microsoft PowerPoint is great, and it's great to have these skills. Thank you for watching.